Has the time come for Manny Pacquiao to hang up the boxing gloves after getting upset by Yordenis Ugas via unanimous decision? Zay, I'm going to actually throw this one over to you to kick us off. What are your thoughts? Should the brother hang it up?
So this is no knock to Yordenis Ugas, but I think it's time for Manny Pacquiao to hang it up. You know, I think he succeeded in a lot in his career. He's done a lot in his career, and he has like literally nothing else to prove at this point. Him battling Errol Spence was more of Errol Spence showing that he's elite than Manny Pacquiao saying he's back and he's still here. You know, Manny Pacquiao fighting is just shows like a glimpse of what his ego is. You know, he always wants to show that he's the best in the world. He wants to prove himself that he's this talent that no one else has seen before, and it's a talent that no one else could replicate. But you know, he's done that already. He's shown us what he could do. He beat Keith Thurman, you know, and that was a time when people thought Keith Thurman was this unstoppable guy. And even though he came back from injury and stuff like that, but Thurman was undefeated at the time, and you know, Pacquiao came in there, took his belts, and left out of there. Pacquiao has nothing else to prove. Like nothing else to prove. Yordenis Ugas is a great fighter. You know, he's a very good puncher. He's good defender. He knows how to box. The guy's a good boxer, and he's someone that you could look at a couple years from now. Like, this guy could win a belt, you know, and this guy could possibly take over if he catches Spence or he catches Crawford on a night where they're not expecting him to really do damage. This is a big confidence booster for Yordenis Ugas by fighting Manny Pacquiao on one short notice. Two came in and just won the fight. You know, Manny Pacquiao
with a torn bicep.
Correct.
I don't know.
Exactly. You know, so like Manny Pacquiao, he landed 60% of his punches. You know, that's not the normal Pacquiao that we know. We know that he throws a lot of punches, but we also know that he lands a lot of punches. The fact that he only landed 60%, you know, it looked like he was off a step. It looked like he wasn't really prepared to fight that night, and then that's scary because if Spencer's in that ring, Spencer's ready to fight no matter what. I don't know if Pacquiao would have even stood a chance against Errol Spence. So I think it's just time to hang it up. You know, Pacquiao, you have nothing to hang your head on. You have nothing to be upset about. You've done it all. You won every possible belt you could have possibly won in multiple divisions. You literally were boxing at one point, and your legacy's gonna live on forever.
I posted a Facebook status on Sunday that garnered some laughter. I didn't think I was being funny, but people wanted to laugh. I guess everybody wants to laugh, right? You see people hopping on crates and busting their ass, and everybody want to laugh. Ha, 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 ha. Funny world, right? Funny world when you got a whole lot of things going on, right? Funny world, I guess, right? 2020 for you, 2021 for you, right? About to be 2022. What it do? Ha, ha, ha. Everything is a joke. But anyway, I posted a status, and I said that Pacquiao showed me more in a loss than Mayweather did his last 4 fights. And I'm here to reiterate that. I'm here to double down on my take here. And the reason why is because I'm not going to penalize somebody for taking a risk. One thing I know about Pacquiao and what made me garner the respect for Pacquiao over the years, because I wasn't always a Pacquiao fan. Matter of fact, when Mayweather and Pacquiao fought, I was Mayweather to the core. And I voted for Mayweather to win that fight, and he won that fight. But me, knowing my way and how I live my life, is I'm open to information. And once the information comes, I have to be real with myself. That's why I call myself the Real Leel. And I stand on my sword. Anybody who knows that know I stand on my sword. If it looks like a duck and quacks like a duck, it's not an elephant, ladies and gentlemen. It's a duck. So when I started to realize, right, when I opened my eyes, because you got to open your eyes and allow the information to come to you, that's when it comes, and that's when you can do something with that information. You can either be a pawn or you could be a swan, you know, and I was a damn swan. And I said to myself that Pacquiao took the risk. When Mayweather got to a certain point in his career, excluding Pretty Boy Floyd, because I always tell people, Pretty Boy Floyd and Money Mayweather, two different fighters, not the same fighter. They look alike, not the two same fighters, right? Pretty Boy Floyd is a guy who fought to earn that paycheck, and he fought anybody because that's how you have to earn the paycheck. But once he got money, once that undefeated streak started to kick in, oh, nah, we got to cherry pick a little bit. We got to maybe, you know, take a drug test, Manny Pacquiao, you know? So I had to go with what I saw. I couldn't be, you know, faking it till I make it. Nah. Pacquiao showed me that the reason why he has L's is because he took the most dangerous fights. So if we're going to judge somebody's legacy, or what are we applying? to that legacy branch? Or are we just saying, oh, he's undefeated, he's a better fighter as far as legacy wise? Or are we saying, who did Manny Pacquiao fight and who did Mayweather fight, right? Or are we using the head-to-head? Well, Mayweather beat Pacquiao, right? So of course it's Mayweather. And I say that to say that, number one, everybody got their own opinion. You don't got to see the way, you don't got to see sports like myself, right? We all see sports. I know I see sports differently because I see life differently. So it ties into the sports. But at the same time, what I'm trying to say is that even in a fight against you guys, ladies and gentlemen, if y'all know y'all boxing and y'all not the casual boxing fan up the street talking to dad going, whoa, whoa, all right? You know, you guys is a top 5 welterweight. This guy is the guy that people wanted to avoid. Keith Thurman wanted to fight Spence, right? And he had an opportunity to be on the undercard against Ugas because Ugas was in the undercard for Manny Pacquiao Spence. But Keith Thurman was like, nah, boy, Ugas is too dangerous, bro. I want Edward Spence today. Keith Thurman passed on that. Ugas ended up getting the main event because Spence got hurt. So if Keith Thurman fought Ugas on the undercard and Spence got hurt, it would have been Keith Thurman part 2 and Manny Pacquiao. But no, I don't want to take on Ugas, man. It's too dangerous. And we see that a lot in boxing, that guys, like, listen, if you're not bringing home money, if you're not that household name, bro, and you know how to fight, bro, I ain't taking risks here because that's going to mess up my money, you know? And that's why I'm not penalizing Pacquiao, because Ugas is a guy that everybody feared as far as the, you know, overlooked, underestimated guy in that welterweight division. And I knew going into that fight that it was going to be a tough fight for Pacquiao. I thought Pacquiao would have edged him out, but that's probably the fan in me and Pacquiao, just knowing the warrior who he is for all his years, is why I gave him the slight advantage. But if somebody told me you guys was going to win that fight, I would not look at you wrong, because I knew he was going to be dangerous. First of all, his size. Second of all, his length. And you take in consideration that Pacquiao didn't fight in the last 2 years. And mind you, when he fought Keith Thurman, he started off good. He got him on, I think he knocked him down the first round. Yeah, I'm sure he knocked him down the first round. And then Keith Thurman, towards the end of that Pacquiao fight, started to gain a rhythm. And Pacquiao started to run out of gas. Now, 2 years later, pandemic, that's why I dropped the video. When the pandemic started, who was the most affected by the pandemic in boxing? Answer, Manny Pacquiao. Sure enough, Lil Stradamus wants to get on the mic.
Yeah, I mean, you can't argue with nostalgia when you look at a guy like Pacquiao. That's really what it is. When you look at Pacquiao, you remember everything he did, and then it was like, yeah, boom, you know, he's a do this against Ugas, you know. But Ugas is a different type of fight, like you said, and he's a welterweight who needs to be
Cuban boxer. They know how to box, bro. Them Cubans, yeah. Luis Ortiz, right in that mix. They're very smart boxers. They don't go for the home run all the time. They know how to box you. They know how to jab. When you saw this fight, all you guys did was say, you know what, I'm keeping Manny Pacquiao at bay with the jab, with the right hand. And that's exactly what he did. You know, Sean Porter almost lost to Ugas. A lot of people said Ugas won that fight against Sean Porter. I thought Sean Porter did enough to edge out that fight. But Sean Porter utilized the whole ring with his movements, because Sean Porter, he got trouble from Ugas. And Sean Porter is a top 3 welterweight. Top 3. I believe he's right there behind Spencer Crawford. And Ugas gave him trouble. But Sean Porter had to take, you saw his game style change. He literally had to take a rabbit out the hat. And that's how he won that fight, being able to move around and jab. What I noticed from Pacquiao was that he was a stationary target. You know, and that's uncharacteristic of Pacquiao, because we used to the bopping and weaving, and obviously the hand speed and the combinations. But it seemed like he wanted the combinations to bail him out, which you guys being that size, just, you know, keeping him at bay with that jab. I mean, it was easy work for you guys, you know, and I don't want to throw disrespect on Pacquiao's name like that, but it was easy work for the Yordenis Ugas on Saturday night, for sure.
Yeah, 100%. I think, like I said, Manny Pacquiao's legacy is not affected at all. You know, this is just not. It's just a loss in his record, but his legacy is already solidified. It's already cemented, set in stone. It's already up there in the Hall of Fame book. So his legacy is not worried about it. It's just time to hang it up, because what else are you fighting for? Really, there's nothing else to really prove. You know, these young kids they're packed. Like it's just a time, because these young kids, it's time for these young kids to shine. Let them boost their name. You know, like I understand Pacquiao, he did you guys a big favor. He boosted his resume. You guys can now say I beat a Hall of Fame boxer. So now the next person you guys fights, it has to be someone in rather a contendership for a belt, or a number one contendership for the belt, because he just beat Pacquiao. You know, the people throwing you guys like Pacquiao is just some regular kid like that Pacquiao to beat to get Spence again. Nah, I want to see you guys versus Spence now, or I want to see you guys versus Porter, or you guys versus Crawford. One of those three. because it's like it's his time to really shine. And I think back to like the Mayweather comment real quick. You know, Mayweather's legacy was mainly that he's a great marketer, and he's done things that promoters usually do for boxers. He did that for himself as a boxer. So throughout his career, the Pretty Boy Floyd era, he was promoting the hell out of every fight, and that's why the big viewerships came in. So when the big viewerships came in, and then he turned to money for it, it's because he knew that every fight that he did broke records in some way in that pay-per-view facet. So now he could ask for a lot more money and not take on the crazy fights. He didn't have to take on Pacquiao in his prime because he was making the most money, and he already knew he was the cash cow. So if they're not offering him like they offered him $100 million to fight Pacquiao, he wasn't going to take it because he knew that Pacquiao was a big name. He was a big name. I'm not taking anything less than this kind of money because I know how much it's going to bring in.
I want to add to that point, or I want to come back that point, but it's a great point. I'm not going to throw that point out the window because that's how most people are looking at it, right? But I would say this. Mayweather did a lot for boxing. We all know that. And nobody's going to sit here and deny that. I am not foolish here on the show where I would deny Mayweather's contribution to the sport of boxing. It's undoubted. But what I'm saying is that, yeah, we take the marketing aspect. Mayweather turned boxing, into the forefront with the marketing, right? But at the end of the day, Zay, we want to see the best fights. UFC is ahead of boxing, and I'm a boxing guy, and I love UFC too. UFC is something that I just got into for the last 2-3 years, and it's rising, and in ratings is better than boxing right now, right? But so with that being said, the reason why is because boxing don't get the fights. So Manny Pacquiao and Ugas was the savior of our summer as a boxing fan when Wilder and Fury fell through, right? When these other fights fell through. Caleb Plant, Canelo was supposed to be in September. Now that's in November. We all know the politics in boxing. So the fact that a guy at the age of 42 with a 2-year layoff came back and fought the top 5 welterweight instead of us watching another Logan Paul Mayweather, who the hell want to watch that damn garbage? Not I. You know what I'm saying? Like, whoever ordered that fight need to have their cable taken away for good. Stick with the fire stick, buddy. Come on. So at the end of the day, yeah, marketing is cool. Taking exhibitions, I guess, is cool to some people, but it's taken away from the sport of boxing in its totality. And I'm one of them guys that I just love boxing more than I love the Star. And when we talk about sports and when we get into some of these topics that we got here, it's like, yeah, the stars make the sport. We know that. But at the end of the day, to a certain extent, we got to choose the sport over the star, because one day that star is not going to be a star no more, and it's not going to be in the sport. So can the sport still carry the damn sport? And that's what boxing didn't do when Mayweather retired.
Real quick, just one quick moment. I think we can make like another episode of this another day. But Mayweather hinted at it a little bit. The sport of boxing has way too many belts out there, and I think that's what hinders a lot of fights happening. So hopefully maybe we could touch base on that on another show, because I know that's a rabbit hole that's way too deep to get into. But yeah, like it's something like that. Like you said, like the fights that need to be had need to be made today, not 6 years from now, not 7 years from now. Let us see the fights. Let me see Gervonta Davis versus that Garcia kid. Let me see Gervonta Davis versus Steven Shakur, Devin Haney. I want to see those are the fights that need to be happening right now, but they're waiting too long for this to happen, and it's getting to a point where it's getting ridiculous. Like, are you going to give us the good fights, or are you going to give us a bunch of crap for 3 years to wait for a good fight?
We could touch the surface, actually, because you just open up another outlet, so we could touch the surface. We don't gotta go deep into the rabbit hole, y'all. We can touch the surface, but as far as the belts, I got a belt, you got a belt, Zach got a belt, Forbes and Red got a belt, the Big Boy Sports got a belt, Freddie System got a belt. Who else am I missing here? We all got belts on Can You Dig? I mean, that's how much belts is in boxing right now. You know me. Anytime I get to shout out my, the people that I work with here on the show, on the station, I gotta do it. You feel me? Free publicity. We ain't getting it from TV, so we gotta do it. But as far as boxing and the belts is concerned, yes, I do believe that's a problem, but it's not the biggest problem. Basically, decided that I'm gonna take exhibitions. What are the ramifications of that? What if you're Errol Spence or one of these fighters and you say, you know what, Errol Spence in particular, we already know about his eye injury, right? And hopefully he recovers with that. Speedy recovery from the brother. I'm pretty sure he will. I don't think his career is over because his brother came back from a car accident. I mean, you saw that video, bro. I don't know how he walked out of that car accident alive. So if he could come back from that and fight and beat down Danny Garcia, who's one of the most dangerous welterweights, he could come back from the eye injury, right? So shout out to him. But let's take a guy like Spence or somebody else, right? If you have an opportunity to make the same money fighting an exhibition against a Logan Paul or Jake Paul, instead of fighting somebody that you're supposed to fight that will be a big fight as far as the masses, you might be like, I might just take the exhibition. Now, it's good for you as an individual to make that money, but as a fan, who's affected? You know, so by Mayweather taking these exhibitions, you're going to see a lot of fighters that are going to be like, if I could make an easy bag, find an exhibit. And now we definitely ain't going to get the fights that we want to see. So there's good and bad. Once again, Mayweather had a good career. Pacquiao had a good career. But, you know, it is what it is. It's the state of boxing right now.
Agreed.